So in the movie Interstellar, we get an up-close look at a supermassive black hole. Set against a backdrop of bright gas, the black hole's massive gravitational pull bends light into a ring. However, this isn't a real photograph, but a computer graphic rendering, an artistic interpretation of what a black hole might look like.
I am 21 years old. I live in Wokingham. Well, no, it involves around the sun. I definitely know that. Disintegrates all planets until there's none left, and there's a big black area. Evaporates and then just disappears. That person would probably get sucked in and probably killed. I'd say they are invisible. Well, because it wouldn't. Well, I mean, if it wasn't real, then it wouldn't draw people in to it. It wouldn't catch their eye. Shout out to Fail Race. Shout out to Zaid Chowdhury. Rory 0411 97 Xbox Gamer.
100 years ago, Albert Einstein first published his theory of general relativity. In the years since then, scientists have provided a lot of evidence in support of it. But one thing predicted from this theory, black holes, still have not been directly observed.
That I'm very far from a black hole, and there's a pony orbiting the black hole. She's close, but not that close to the hole. Don't worry. Fact. Events that happen at a normal rate, as far as the pony is concerned, will happen in slow motion according to me. A day for her might be months for me. This is called gravitational time dilation, and the same thing happens around Earth, just to a lesser degree. Atomic clocks in high-altitude orbits will get ahead of clocks on the ground by a few microseconds each day, which is tiny, but GPS doesn't function properly if you don't take this into account.
A black hole has a horizon, which is the surface of the black hole, except it's not a hard surface like the surface of a billiard ball. And it has a singularity at the center, and it is made in the vicinity of the horizon and down to the singularity by warped space and time. The horizon is a very special place. It's the place you're pulled inexorably toward the center. And we know they are there with 99.9% confidence from observations mixed with a little bit of theory. We know that in our own galaxy there are roughly 100 million of these objects that have sizes of about, say, 10 miles or so across, sizes like that. We know that at the center of our galaxy and almost all other large galaxies, there's a huge black hole that has a size more like the distance between the Earth and the Moon.
This is the nucleus of the galaxy M87, and this is the first time. When I saw the first image, I said, "Oh, wow, that's it."
It's a true, like a eureka moment in our scientific lives.
We're looking at this, the mystery of nature that has never uncovered, right?
So this is it. We've finally seen it. Scientists came up with this crazy idea in the 1930s, and they never imagined that one day we would actually see a black hole. It's so far only a few blurry splotches of light, and yet they contain so much information about the physics of the universe.
I've been dreaming about this for 25 years. When I saw the first data, it was just some weird plot, and it looked like there could be a ring in there. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be interesting.
It looks pretty much what we were expecting, which was, for a theoretician, is always a dramatic moment when you have to compare what you spent years simulating with what actually nature is telling you.
This is just like kind of the beginning of being able to have another window into what black holes can tell us about our laws and physics. But already we've learned so much. So, we didn't know, even though we had predicted that if you had a black hole that you would see this ring of light, we didn't know we were going to get that ring of light. And that's, what we were kind of testing. We could have gotten just a blob. And so seeing that ring and seeing a ring that has a size that is consistent with other measurements that have been done completely differently.
Shane, 18 but 19 in June. Finch Hampstead, Wokingham area. Very little detail. I know they're out space in the sky. They suck up stars and light, like the vortex in space that can suck things up. Probably miles. Not 100% sure, but yeah, probably miles away. Probably will suck it up. Yeah, probably will suck it up and things like that. I don't know, to be honest. I guess 50-50, in my opinion. Because you wouldn't know if it's real or not, because I don't think a lot of people get very close to black holes to find out for themselves. Alright, shout out to my girlfriend, Beth Thomas. Oh yeah, Pappyzilla.
One, black holes have this fascination because they're this mysteriously dense objects, but to a physicist, they're very significant. How would you begin to explain their meaning?
Well, black holes are a wonderful thing. They're a wonderful prediction of the Einstein theory of gravity, which is a theory of space-time and how space-time curves and how the geometry of space-time affects the motion of particles and so on. And we have some evidence that this has happened in our universe, and there are black holes out there. And what's a black hole? So a black hole is a region in space-time that is surrounded by a horizon. So a horizon is a funny feature, which is a region of space-time which is perfectly smooth and perfectly fine. So if you cross it, you don't feel anything special. However, if you cross it, you can never come back out. So if you cross the horizon of a black hole, there's no way you can escape. You will be crashed into a singularity, which is a region of very strong curvature in the interior, where all the matter of the star that collapsed is concentrated. So that's, in a nutshell, what a black hole is.
So all the matter of the entire star is concentrated in an extremely small space in the center of this region. But the rest of the region is kind of empty.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And well, black holes have very interesting consequences for astrophysics. So they exist when stars collapse. There are some black holes in the center of galaxies.
It maybe help form the galaxies because they're in the center and create structure.
Exactly. There are various, let's say, astrophysical applications of black holes, or they're important for astrophysics and for the history of galaxies and so on.
To be able to come here. I really wanted to come here first after the announcement, as my new home that I'll be here soon. So I'm really excited that you all are here and excited too. So before I start, I wanted to emphasize, this was a huge team effort, and I know, right now in the media, there's a lot of stuff going around that I single-handedly, led this project. That is as far from the truth as possible. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows from the beginning that this is the effort of lots and lots of people for many years. So anyway. And if we could zoom in very far towards the center of M87 with a radio telescope, we would see these flailing arms of a jet. And what this jet tells us is that at the heart of it, there's what is a supermassive black hole. So a place where once too close, nothing can escape, not even light. And although we have never been able to see this black hole before, we see the effects of it in the jet. And what we are trying to do in the Event Horizon Telescope is see something as small as that little dot there. We've been trying to image the core of the black hole, the immediate surrounding around that black hole. And if we believe that if we were to zoom in, we would see light that was zipping around and bending due to the immense gravitational pull of the black hole. So if Einstein was right about general relativity, this light would bend itself into a ring, in which case, where you would have a dark spot in the center. And the brightest area of the ring is called the Photon Ring, where you have photons that are basically orbiting near continuous orbits. But anyway, this black area here is called the black hole shadow. This is what is referred to as the black hole shadow.